Colombia. Today, I want to talk about my trip to Colombia. I was out there for 3 months. I want to talk about what I learned, some of the things I was reminded of in my experience out there. So, first off, I just want to tell you how I ended up in Colombia. Was this planned? Was this on a whim? And how did that all transpire? So, I was planning on moving here in Florida, in St. Petersburg, from one apartment to another. And I had a friend reach out to me that I hadn't talked to in about 6 or 7 months. We were pretty close. We met at a networking event a few years back. And he reached out to check in to see how I was doing. I was telling him I was moving, asked how he was doing. He's like, I'm doing great. I'm actually about to go to South America and live out there for a while. He's like, I don't know how long I'm going, but I'm at least doing a few months. And he's like, do you want to go? And I was like, there's no way I'm going. Appreciate the invite. A couple days went by, and I started thinking about it. I was like, why not? I've never done anything like this before. I'm at a time in my life where I do want to have a family and I do want to have kids and settle down and all those things. But I'm at the perfect time where I have my own business, where I can travel and work from wherever. I don't have a family. I don't have a girlfriend right now. It's almost like the perfect time to do this. Why not try? Why not go step out your comfort zone? So I messaged him back like a week later and was like, you know what? I think I'm in. Let's do it. And he wanted to go to Colombia, so we looked at some different spots, picked out a starting spot, and that was Santa Marta. Got all ready to go, and this is where I learned my first lesson. Don't take other people's opinions and their reality and make it yours. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has experiences, and they're going to share them with you. Just because somebody else had that experience doesn't mean it's going to be your experience. And this is something that really hit hard for me on this trip. Because I started telling people, hey, I'm going to Colombia. I'm going to be gone for at least a month. Don't know how long I'm staying. Every time I shared that I was traveling to Colombia, I heard a terrible story. A story about somebody getting robbed. A story about someone getting hurt or drugged. And everyone was telling me how dangerous it was, how I have to watch my back, all this trouble. And I was getting a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, man, this place sounds crazy. Like, it sounds like there's no rules. It's just the Wild West out there. So I had that in the back of my mind as we were going. I was like, nah, you know what? My experience will be different. So I still decided to go. We land at like 12 in the morning, and we get an Uber or a van to take us to our Airbnb. Now, I didn't realize Sundays were the party days. There's people everywhere. There are mopeds whipping by, and it's late. It's dark out, and we didn't know a word of Spanish. Like, I didn't know anything. I knew hola, como estás, and adios, and that was it. So the driver's trying to talk to us and tell us these things, and I have no clue what they're talking about. And we get dropped off in this town, and there's people all over the streets, and we have these big bags, and we're like, oh my God, where did we just get dropped off at? We try to hurry up, get into Airbnb, we settle in, we wake up the next morning, and we go for a walk, and it's a little dirtier than I was expecting. And I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay here a whole month. Then we took a deep breath and settled in. And after that, I had an amazing time. I loved Santa Marta. The food was amazing. The people were great. I felt super safe. It was amazing. I built connections with people. Even went to the local church. I plugged in with the gym and met people there. And it was an amazing town with amazing people. And the stories that I heard had nothing to do with my experience. My experience was completely different. And I realized everybody has different intentions. My intentions are different than the people and the stories that they're telling me. The people that they know had different intentions than me going down there. I went down there for work. I didn't go out and party. I wasn't doing any of the other things. I was just focused, doing my thing, having a good time, enjoying good food. And working. Like it wasn't a party trip. And I never had any trouble. The whole time I was there in 3 different cities, I never had any trouble. And I didn't take their opinion and make it my reality. Because I'm not going to lie, when I first got there with the stories in the back of my head, and I just had to let those go and I had to settle in and say, no, I'm going to make this what I want to make it. I was going for walks without my phone. We broke just about every rule that ChatGPT gave us. ChatGPT was like, hey, don't give your phone to anyone. Don't pull them out in the Ubers. Don't do all of these things. And we were breaking them all. We met some amazing people there. The second day at the gym, I met a girl there that was really cool, and she had some friends, and we traveled with them and went to a couple local cities around there, different towns up in the mountains, remote places, really cool. And it was nice just having some people that knew the land to show us around. If I would have listened to ChatGPT, if I would have listened to everybody else, I wouldn't have experienced any of that. We would have just stayed in the Airbnb, done work, and just laid low. But it was a great experience, and I think it's so easy in life to allow other people and their opinions to influence us and our experience. And every day you're having an experience, and there's going to be people telling you their experience. And you can either take their experience as facts for you, or you can create your own. You can go in with a fresh mindset and make it whatever you want to make it. So that was lesson number 1. Don't take other people's opinions and their experiences and make it yours. The second thing that I learned in my travel to Colombia is that routines are great. Routines can travel with you. One of my biggest gripes about traveling was I get out of routine. I can't stay in my routines. And I actually did this on purpose. I went and stayed at each place for a month. I was like, if I do this, I want to stay in one Airbnb for a month. I want to be able to feel settled in, locked in, because otherwise you travel every 3 or 4 days or every week. You never settle in. You never get to know a city. You never really get to get into a routine. And by doing it like this, I was able to get right back into my routines. I had my morning routines. But the great thing was I was able to experience new things. So have these routines that are your staples that you can take with you anywhere. But it's also good to break up your days and have and live different days. Here in Florida, I feel like I was running the same day over and over, going to the gym, doing work, eating the same meals. When I was down in Colombia, it was a different day every day. I was walking down different streets. I was eating at different restaurants. I was doing different things. I was visiting different towns. It was like a combination between work and vacation. It felt like I was in vacation because it was a new area, and I was there for a month. So I was a little more fun and spontaneous than I typically would be in Florida. But I took that and was like, I need to bring that back with me when I go back to the United States. I don't have to live the same day every day. I don't have to go to the same places, the same coffee shop, the same restaurants. I don't need to hang out with the same people. I can take an hour trip in Florida and go explore and get out in nature. Like I was doing all of these things in Colombia that I never did in Florida. And it just was a great reminder that yes, routines are good, some of the basic ones, but also break out of that because that's where all your creativity comes. That's where your fulfillment comes. Walking down a new road, taking a different route to the grocery store, going to a different coffee shop, not eating the same meals every single day. It's just really exciting to break out and do new things. So that was lesson number 2. Take your good routines with you, the ones that make you feel great, but don't be scared to step out of your comfort zone and experience new things. And then the third thing that I learned is your work is your art. Like when I was down in Colombia, I really realized I paid attention and saw the people and how they showed up to their work. They took pride in it. They paid attention to the little details. Whether it was a barber, somebody that owned a shop, or even just a server, they were on it. They were making sure your experience was great. They were getting into every little nitty-gritty detail. And I was like, wow, that's really cool to see. It doesn't matter what you do. It's just how you show up for it. The effort that you put in, the quality that you give to the customer or whatever you're doing or the service that you're providing. And I thought that was really cool because sometimes I think we're looking for meaning in life and we can create meaning into anything that we do. We have different activities that we do every day, and a lot of times we're going through the motions. But if you just show up and be present and try to do that to the best of your ability, you can bring the art out in you in anything that you do. Whether it's a conversation, whether it's your job, whether it's a hobby, you can bring that expression of yourself and make it different than everybody else. And I really saw that down in Colombia and how people showed up for work. It was really cool to see. Fourth thing that I learned in my travels in Colombia was that you can make connections anywhere as long as you put some effort in. I was in a different country, 3 different cities, and I met people in every city with a language barrier. It's easy to go into isolation. Isolation is easy, but actually building relationships, being intentional, putting in effort takes a little more work, but you can do it anywhere. I met friends and made friends barely speaking the language just by effort, by trying, by wanting to understand their culture. And I think that's something that you can take anywhere in your life. And if you just listen, if you put in some effort, if you care a little bit more, you can make connections so easy. And we started in Santa Marta, and we had a church we were going to. We were in a run club. We were going to the gym. We had like all these different groups of people that we were hanging out with just from putting in some effort, from being fun, from bringing some energy. The guys at the front desk were my favorite people. We had security guards at every single place that we stayed at, and I knew them all by name. I walked in, hola amigo, just like bringing the energy every single day. And you could see them light up and their energy shift. And I think when you can show up and bring a little bit of energy and be intentional with your relationships, it changes the room. It changes your connection. And a lot of times we say there's no good people, we have no good friends, and the world's just different because of social media. Those are excuses. You just don't want to put in the effort. And if you actually put in the effort, man, there's a lot of great people out there. And man, you don't know anything about anybody until you open the door. And my favorite way to open the door is just give some energy, give a little compliment to somebody. It's easy to give a compliment, but it goes such a long way. So building connections is not as hard as you think. It just requires a little bit of effort. The fifth thing that I learned, and I wouldn't really even say learned, I just confirmed it. The United States food is poison. It's all about the money, and they don't care about the health. The food in Colombia was on a whole different scale. Not only did it taste way better, like the food was phenomenal, probably the best food I've ever had. Santa Marta had the best. Medellin, I would say second, and then Pereira was the place I went to third. It was probably not as good, but they were all really good. They were all way better than the United States. I mean, the coffee was phenomenal, obviously, Colombian coffee. But the ingredients in the food, I'm not going to lie to you, I ate out every single night except for one night. One night, I cooked some food. Other than that, I was eating out every night. And the food was fantastic. In the United States, I come back and I eat some food going out to eat. For one, it doesn't taste good. For two, none of it is healthy. It's just you feel like crap after, you're sluggish, you have brain fog. But down there, I felt good. I was like able to build muscle, felt really good. And the quality of the food is so much better. Here in the United States, there's so much crap in our food. And even just looking at the difference at the grocery store, like an onion there, an onion in Colombia is smaller than my fist. An onion in the United States is like two of my fists put together. They're massive. Going there and getting a chicken. They have the chicken, like the chicken's right there. It's like a normal sized little chicken, and they'll cut it up for you fresh right there. United States, we have this huge chicken breast that are in these big Purdue packages, and they're massive. They just don't even look real. Like they're all pumped up with hormones. And what can that be doing to your body? I don't know, but I know I feel the difference as well. And it just confirmed that in the United States, we do not care about health. Everything's about money. Pump up the chicken, pump up the food, put you on drugs. And it was just confirmation that I already knew, but it was just interesting to see a different country, how they showed up and how they prepped their food and how they presented it, how much effort they put into their food. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. So Colombian food, if you had never been, it's really good, especially on the coast like Santa Marta. The seafood was so good. Lesson number 6, I learned that brotherhood builds character. And this just isn't brotherhood. This could be sisterhood. This could be just having friends with you that make you better, that actually call you out. I went down there with one of my friends. He's been into personal development for a while. He takes his work seriously. He's pretty fine-tuned on just about everything. He's into his health and his fitness. And it was really cool to see. Like, he was just locking in with me on workouts. He put on 15 pounds of muscle while we were down there, which was amazing to see. He would call me out on things, though. He'd call me out on my BS, and I would call him out on things as well. If we saw each other talking bad about ourselves, like being negative on ourselves or criticizing ourselves, we would call each other out. And having somebody like that in your life is huge. Having friends around you that aren't scared to call you out, that actually just want you to get better. And if they call you out, it's not because they're trying to pick on you. They're trying to help you. I'm like, every single time he called me, I was like, thank you. I didn't see that. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate that, because now I'm going to make a correction. And just having those conversations with somebody else that understands that they want to get better too. And getting around those right people and being in proximity to those people really does help. Something I knew, something you hear all the time, but actually living it was amazing, because you really, it is true. Iron sharpens iron. If you're around people that are not scared to call you out, they're there to help you get better. They're there not to criticize you or tear you down, but to point some things out to you that you might want to change to have a better life, to be a little happier, to get better results. So that was something that was really cool to see as well. And then lastly, lesson number 7 was I traveled down there with just 2 suitcases and a book bag. I brought some of the basic essentials. I had like my shaver, I had, all my clothes, and that's about it. I brought a volleyball, believe it or not, but I just went down there with the basics. And I didn't miss anything. Like none of the objects that I had back home, none of the things that I've acquired, none of my possessions did I miss. And I realized none of that stuff makes me happy anyway. I brought my computer for work, and I had my clothes that I needed to wear, obviously, and I had a couple utensils like something for shaving and those little things like that. Other than that, I was just as happy, if not happier, with less things, just with a simple life, unpacking my suitcase and just going out, taking my walks, doing my work. And I realized that isn't what makes me happy. And I boiled it down to 3 things that really make me happy. The one thing that I did miss from the United States were my connections, my community. And I realized deep connections are really important to me. Having those people that you can really communicate with, that you understand, that you can have deeper conversations with, that is something that is important to me. Having a community of people that care about you and you care about it as well. So my church community, just all the people that I hang out with, all my friends and the relationships that I built, that was one thing that I did miss, was having those people. And ultimately, that was the reason that I came home after 3 months. I just missed my community. I wanted to get back with everybody. I wanted to talk to everybody again. And I think that's one of the most important things, at least in my life, is having a good group of people around me, people that I have good conversations with that challenge me. So that was one thing that I noticed. The second thing was just having a purpose and a mission is so important. I was able to bring my work with me. I was able to create content down there. I was able to do the podcast. I was able to do everything that I wanted. I was able to have a mission and a purpose that I was still working towards every single day. And if I didn't have that, I would have been bored. I would have felt like I had nothing to do. But having something that you're building, having a purpose, something that you actually get joy from doing, something that you're excited to build, I think that is so important. It just opened my eyes that I truly do love my work. I do love making an impact, and being able to help people and be able to do it from anywhere was really cool. So that was the second one. And then the third one was just my health mentally, physically, and spiritually, and just having that connection. And I know we live in a physical body and we really focus on that a lot, but my physical health has always been important to me. My mental health, making sure I'm doing the little things to keep me mentally sharp, like my reading, my meditations, those things are really important as well. But the one that really connected with me on this trip was my spirituality. Like going to a church in another language and still feeling the same, still feeling the presence of God, still feeling all of those things, and being able to connect with people in a different language without even talking. I remember I was in the church one day and the guy next to me just put his arm around me during one of the songs, and I could just feel the presence, and it was just amazing. And that grew for me as well. And I was strengthening every part of my health between my body, my mind, and my spirituality. And I realized if I can focus on those 3 things, which is deep relationships, a purpose and a mission, and then taking care of my health, I'm going to be happy. I don't need all the other things. I don't need to stack up all the achievements. It's literally just having those things in your life. And I think a lot of times we get carried away with achievement because we think it's going to get us deeper relationships. We think it's going to help us find our purpose. We think that it's going to make us feel the way that we want to feel when we have good health and good spirituality and a good mindset. But you can start with the foundation, build all those up, and that's what's actually going to fulfill you. And yes, I think it's great to have all the nice things, and I want all the nice things, and I want the nice houses and the cars and everything, right? But at the same time, I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss any objects. I was having just a good time, if not better, with the simplicity of just walking in nature, having the simple life, going out to dinner, having good conversations, and that's all I really needed. And that's all I really need anytime, anywhere. It's like as long as I have those, as long as I'm able to build connections with people and have a purpose, something that I'm excited to wake up for and build towards, and then just taking care of myself and making sure my health is there, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have a good life. I'm going to feel fulfilled. So those were my key takeaways. And just to tell you a little more, I started in Santa Marta. We were there for a month. It was awesome. Seafood was amazing. There's so many cool places to visit around there. So Minca, Palomino Beach, Taganga, Tirona, all these different spots where you can go. And I mean, it's just like unbelievable views, rivers, waterfalls. That place was awesome. We went to Medellin. It was a bigger city. I think it's like around 3 to 4 million people, so much bigger, a lot more partying, a lot more like drugs and stuff going around, people trying to sell you stuff. It was a different vibe. It wasn't my vibe as much, but there's a lot of people internationally there, so you'll see a lot more Americans. In Santa Marta, it was pretty much all Spanish speaking. Medellin, there was definitely a lot more English. Wasn't really my vibe as much, but I can see why some people would like it. The food was pretty good, but the food was definitely best in Santa Marta, then Medellin, and then Pereira. And the last city was Pereira, which is a little smaller city. It's like Medellin climate, which was about 75 degrees like every day, which is amazing. Like the weather down there is fantastic. The food was good there as well. Much smaller, very walkable. I liked it a lot. It didn't have all the things that Medellin had, but it was pretty similar. Just less partying, a lot more chill, a lot more family oriented, it felt like. So that was my interpretation of the trip. But remember, don't take my opinion and make it yours. You might like Medellin the best and not like Santa Marta at all, because we're different people with different experiences. But I just wanted to share my experiences. I wanted to share some of the key things that I learned. Hopefully you got some inspiration from that and want to go travel a little bit, go see some different places. I don't think my traveling days are done yet, but I'm locking back down here in Florida, getting reconnected with my community and building community. But it was such an awesome experience. I would definitely do it again, and I learned so much. And I'm excited to learn Spanish. Oh yeah, one of the coolest things for me on that whole trip was driving in. I was telling you, the van ride over from the airport in the middle of the night on our first day. I didn't know a word of Spanish. I told you I knew like hola, and that was it. On the way out, I was Ubering out after my 3rd month. I was speaking in Spanish, having a conversation with the Uber driver that spoke no English. Now, I'm not going to tell you it was a great conversation. It was very basic, but the fact that I could understand it a little bit, I could communicate a little bit, enough to have a basic conversation, that was really cool. And that growth is addicting. Like learning a new language is addicting. It's so fun just like pushing your brain. And I think it makes you more creative, like trying to learn this new language. Or at least it fires up things in your brain that you normally wouldn't use. In my opinion, I don't know. I'm just making this up, but that was my experience. I just felt like my brain was a little sharper from trying to learn a new language. But I had so much fun. 10 out of 10. I love Colombia. Highly recommend go visiting. All 3 cities were awesome. Hey, and remember, greatness is already inside you. Now let's just bring it out.